Hi Cancer, Happy New Year. I'm Lucy Ravenstone and welcome to my channel. I'm going to do some guidance for you for January. So I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm using tarot. If you followed me previously, I haven't used tarot yet on my channel, so kind of exciting. Let's see what's in store for you, Cancer. Interestingly enough, some of these are recurring in all of my readings, so there's definitely a vibe for January 2022. Okay. Let's see what's in store for you. Is handy. Okay, so Cancer, what's in store? So first off, I kind of got a sense of uncertainty coming from you, Cancer. I kind of get this feeling of not knowing what to expect, and that kind of giving you a bit of anxiety. It's like a bit of an unsure time for you. I kind of get this sense of you feeling really intuitive, but then kind of not forget it, then kind of like pushing that aside. So it's kind of like um, things like insight is really coming to you. That's the vibe I'm getting, like full on intuition. You can trust your gut, but I feel like you feel that anxious that you don't wish to trust your gut, I guess. It's kind of the vibe. Feeling very apprehensive with how you feel. So I feel like there's this major trust just within yourself of not knowing what's real, what's right during this time. I'm going to pull a card with that card for you as well. Because yeah, I kind of get this. I feel like if you move forward, and this, what's come up is important. It's saying pay attention. But yeah, what's coming up is like, your target's kind of in sight. You can hit the ball. You can trust in yourself. You don't need to see what's ahead of you to move forward. But I get this apprehension coming from you. So the card I just pulled now is guarded and protected, and that makes complete sense. And this is protecting your energy. This can be you feeling guarded and protected, so it totally goes with this vibe. I feel like you're kind of feeling vulnerable right now and just not knowing not trusting fully in yourself, not knowing whether to trust in yourself maybe. If there are decisions coming forward, this could just be making you feel uneasy and indecisive as well. So that's very interesting for you, Cancer. So the next card, we have Ace of Swords. So again, to me, this is like a challenge for you. I feel like, again, I get this sense of inspiration coming, and so to me, that it does feel like there's just kind of guidance coming to you, like divine guidance. It really just feels like you're kind of being given all the signs, you've been given the tools, but there's apprehension. Now this is reversed as well, so I kind of get this like to be igniting yourself in, so kind of taking up the challenge is the vibe with this. To trust in yourself, take a leap of faith is actually like kind of the vibe I get with that. I do get the sense of kind of I feel like you are looking towards guidance, looking for guidance. You are kind of looking for signs or asking for signs is the vibe I get with this. So this is where it's like, the intuition's coming, because maybe you are actually actively seeking, like trying to trust, trying to listen to what's coming at you. But then I feel like even though you're asking for it and you're seeking it and you're looking for it, you're not either seeing it or trusting what you are thinking. So you may be thinking you're misinterpreting what's coming at you, and so it's making you uneasy. For example, do we go on this date or not? We're apprehensive, we haven't dated for a while. Do I go on this date? And all the signs are pointing to yes, but you're still like, do I go on this date though? Because, and then you give an egotistical reason as to why you can't. Because the last one I went to is really rubbish, or I haven't been out there in a while, I'm probably going to be awkward. You know what I mean? We put doubts into what we feel is right anyway. So again, with this card, I just pulled one with it. And again, it came reversed, so pay attention. Focus upon divine and perfect help. So it's kind of like, with this for you, with that card, I take this as nurturing your mental aspect. And this is what I mean by I feel like you're adding doubt and anxiety to what's coming your way. And so just check in on that and make sure that you are listening and trusting. Definitely feel like this is a good time for you to be trusting in what you feel is right. So my hair is wet. I've just got out of the shower before recording, and I am on a very fast schedule today because we're going on holiday tomorrow. Anyway, sorry, back to your reading. We have Knight of Wands. So to me, anyway, this is you. This is symbolizing where you're at the moment. So again, a lot of anxious energy. So with this, I feel like you're just on the outside of yourself. I feel like you are looking at your problems as though they are things separate from you, and you have to deal with it, which is, to me, I actually feel that's a good way of dealing with something. However, you do have to then realize that it is happening to you, and you have to be the one to face your problems. So I kind of feel like you're on the fence, and you really are seeking advice, or you're deciding to go with the flow, step back. That's the kind of feel I'm feeling is your vibe with this column. I feel like you are very much ready to move forward, but there's something preventing you from actually trusting in moving forward. I will pull a card for you again with that one. Kind of feel like this method really helps to make sure we get all of our give it full clarity. Sorry, Cancer, this is my first reading today. Obviously jumped out the shower, wet hair. I'm doing your reading, so I'm a little tongue-tied. The first video I do always goes a little bit where I have to get a bit camera ready, so bear with me. The person you're talking about, the person you're asking about, is trustworthy. So with this card, this says trust. Again, I really get this sense of personal trust in yourself, but trust in the situation, trust in the person. It is all about coming from a place of love. So what you're asking about is coming from a place of love. So if while I'm reading this column, things are jumping into your mind, because that's what readings do, they are triggers for ourselves to get the guidance that we need. That's how I feel it really works in full potential, is when you are actively listening, paying attention to the guidance, and then everything that comes through you that helps stimulate your own intuition and figure out what's next steps for yourself. I really feel like that's the best approach to going when you're having readings. And so for me, this is like realizing that everything is coming from a place of love. So kind of look at it from that point of view would be my guidance with this column of who you are, where you're coming from, where you're going, is kind of look from an aspect of love. I kind of feel like when we look through our rose-tinted glasses, where we see the love everywhere, we can see like people's hardships of them trying, them doing their best. And when we see people coming at us with drama, we understand where they're coming from, even if it isn't in alignment with what we feel. This puts us, and this is not toxic positivity, this is a totally different thing. This is our perception and us coming forward with compassion, seeing things a little differently than our stubborn, one-sided view. It helps us to see the world in a different light, for us to be able to move forward confidently, to know what we want. Sometimes if we see everything as bad and only see the bad in others, we just shy away and we choose to kind of protect ourselves from that. And that's the protecting, guardian, protected energy I feel with you, Cancer. So I kind of feel like understanding the coming from a place of love, understanding that nurturing aspect of us being trustworthy. They might just be going through their things, of yourself being trustworthy and a loved being. You make mistakes, but it's not the end of the world. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting for you at the moment. So yeah, focus on divine perfect help. Make sure you're checking in and don't knock yourselves away, Cancer. Okay, coming to the next column. So I kind of have this layout as kind of self, current, and kind of moving forward as it goes through the layout. So this is your current energy, where you are now. Okay, so we have Page of Swords. So I definitely get this want for action, want for discovery is kind of actually more of it feels. So this to me feels like you're up for the challenge, you're up for moving forward. In the card, he's got his sword raised, so this points me back to the Ace of Swords, which actually you also have here in your first column. Again, you had it reversed, so her sword is down. This is why I feel like this is you, and then this is where you are wanting to be, where you are currently, is that kind of fight within you to change things up, to get things moving. I feel like, again, there's this guidance here with you. Also, you have your tools and that already with you. I feel like everything you need to step up and move forward is there. And I feel like you know that, you're not trusting it, you feel like there's something more that you might need. It's kind of like when you leave the house and you've got your keys, you've got your wallet, you've got your phone, you've got everything you need in your bag, but you have this sense, this feeling like, did I forget something? And you haven't, and you know you haven't, but you're allowing that niggling because you're kind of stressing and thinking, have I got everything because I can't come back later, blah, 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 blah. That's the vibe of this I'm feeling, but it's knowing that you have all of it with you. You don't need to be holding that. You have everything you need, is what I mean. There may be other stuff that you might need along the way, but they are things that you can collect along the way. You don't need everything to be perfect to move forward. And that's where I see, like, you are ready to move. You just need to shift past that energy of wanting everything to be perfect to move forward. Then we have the Hierophant. So with this, I really get this sense of nurturing yourself. I get this sense of, again, listening to your intuition. I feel like this is a really crazy time for you, for just being spot on. And I've snapped in all of my videos for January so far because I have this flip the switch kind of vibe. But here I feel like your intuition, everything's coming. The flip and switch in the vibe for you is acknowledging and being in this moment. And because it feels like it's a very spiritual energy for you, a very great time for movement, because you are being guided in so many ways. I feel like you could potentially be on your top right now. That's the kind of vibe I get here. It's like you being one, you being that wise wisdom teacher, you being that guidance and that leader. Now, for some of you, this card could mean that there is someone there to guide you and teach you. Again, I do get this sense of being guided. So if you have a friend or a teacher, somebody who is in your workplace or something like that, who is guiding you or offering you kind of room to grow, totally feel like take that up. This could be the help and guidance and push that you need, where you are feeling stuck and everything's not perfect. It may be that you need to trust and lean on them, because trust is kind of a vibe running in your energy right now of not knowing what to trust. So that's a good avenue to look on if there is someone who is actually actively trying to guide you along the way. Next we have Five of Cups, but it is reversed. I'm just going to turn her around for a second. So interestingly enough, this is it. I just feel like there's this vibe for you currently where you have all this good going on for you, but you're squashing that vibe by not trusting. I feel like you are focusing on what you've lost, focusing on what's the negative of the movement. So whatever movement you're feeling coming this January, the resolutions that you're making, I'm going to pull a past life card for you to help shine some light on what it is that you need to shift right now for that and what to use to make that resolution, and that will help with this. But I feel like you are focusing on the negative aspects that's stopping you from trusting, to stopping you from moving forward. So for example, you have an opportunity at work and you have someone saying, look, I want to promote you, I want to give you more hours, and you're like, yes, that'll give me more money. I feel like you're focusing on like, will I be able to do this job? But like, yes, because they're going to train you in that area. But you're not thinking that, you're just thinking, oh, will I be able to? And then I just get that sense of you just rising those doubts, so be careful of that. Now this is a 5 card, so this is a time for change, and that's the kind of change I'm feeling here, is what needs to change within you in order for you to really fully appreciate what's happening around you right now. And again, seeing is kind of coming. I feel like you need to see. That's coming in my head, is like you need to see. It's about seeing gratitudes. I feel like you need to see what's happening and see things as they are and not how you think they are. Because I do get this very mental kind of feeling. It's like emotions. You're allowing your emotions to be the better of you rather than thinking logically. It's kind of the vibe here. And I feel like your guidance is to be a little bit more logic and trusting. So these two things go hand in hand for me, for you, is logic and trust. So even though trust isn't always using your logic, because I feel like you don't need everything to be perfect, don't do it that way, but I feel like you need to use your logic to actually see, like, yes, actually I do need to shift my thinking. I am getting emotionally ahead of myself, that kind of feel. I'll just pull a couple of cards with you for you. So firstly, honor and trust your feelings. Again, trust in your intuition. That card comes up majorly. Trust in your intuition. Honor and trust your feelings is also like honor your emotions. I feel like even though if you are looking at things negatively, it's honor your feelings. Like know that you're feeling it for a reason and to honor it. And by honoring it, I mean don't focus, because sometimes if we have a negative emotion and we're feeling all upset, we can dwell and relish in that, and I don't feel like we're honoring ourselves through that way. You know, we're like allowing ourselves to sulk, and it becomes where we give it too much power. Honoring your emotions is allowing it to flow through you, allowing it to pass on, to allow yourself to observe it, see why you're feeling this way, and to kind of face things on. And that's the logic twist here, I feel like, that you need to apply currently. That prayer will help the situation. So again, to me, in-depth thinking, divine guidance, all those things is going to help you to be able to understand what is right and what is your fears, I guess. Decide to be happy now. So it's, again, I get this, decide to be happy now is typically a card where it's like, choose now to act, don't wait until be happy, don't wait for the future, we're going to do things now. Take that guidance too, because that applies to what we're saying here. But for you, I really feel, again, this is getting our emotions in check. It is saying, choose to see the lighter than the darker. That's the total vibe I'm getting for you, Cancer. I have Cancer rising in my signs, so I totally feel like I could potentially take this guidance on myself as well. In certain aspects, I would say Cancer comes up in my emotions the most. Obviously, being an emotional water sign, and we are triggered by our emotions. It's what, well, not triggered is the wrong word, but it's what drives us a lot. But that can be also the downfall side of it, because we are emotional beings. Being, if this is your sun sign and you're watching, obviously that's going to be more amplified to me, because that is your personality. That's kind of how you show yourself to the world. So bear that in mind as we do going through. So our moving forward card. So I feel like you have the Wheel of Fortune, but it's reversed. To me, I feel like you don't need luck on your side. This is not a time for luck. This is a time for trust and moving forward. So instead of wishing for things to change, I feel like this is a time for you to make the change, is the kind of consensus here for me. I feel like you don't need your luck to change, and this is the seeing that I'm feeling. You don't need anything to change. You don't need your luck to change, because you're already a lucky being right now. Things are already the way they are supposed to be. Things are already acting in the manner that we need it to, but we're not seeing it. It's about cogs. Like, imagine a clock. The cogs are turning. Things are happening. But if we don't see that happening, time ticks by too fast. Time can pass us by, time flies by, but if we pay attention, time goes slow. We see the way it works, we see the hours tick, the seconds. You see what I'm saying here? I hope that analogy works, because that was kind of cool for me. So I feel like this is it, acknowledging and seeing what's in motion. Things might not be perfect now, but the clocks are ticking, they are becoming that way. Then we have Nine of Swords reverse. So again, this is about not seeing. I do feel like this is moving forward, and I feel like you are getting into that better space here for me. I feel like your challenges are behind you. You are ready to kind of allow your emotions to release. I get that sense here. So this could be also full moon energy here as well. So coming into the full moon for me. I read the cards intuitively, by the way, so it's not necessarily always as they are read. And for me, this feels like that full moon release where we allow ourselves to burn away all of that we need to forgive ourselves for, all of that we need to let go of, the people we let go, and we allow ourselves to cry if we have to cry, get all those emotions out. This feels like a massive release for me, of releasing of emotions so that they are gone and we are in control. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here for you. So that's pretty interesting. yeah, definitely getting full moon vibes here. So the next card again, you've got Three of Cups, and this is reverse. So for me, Three of Cups comes like very sociable. To me, I feel like this is, again, I get that full moon energy. I kind of get a ceremony, a releasing, really releasing vibe. So to me, if you do practice any form of like full moon ceremonies, any releasing ceremonies, or spells and those kind of things, like this could be really beneficial to you. Or if not, the full moon time could be a good time for you. And even if you do not practice this, like I feel like as humans, we naturally, especially those that get more in sync with themselves, so those that watch tarot, etc., so you're allowing your lives to align, we kind of naturally do sync with the moon. So we do start releasing in the right times, and we start being grateful. Like it's our natural instincts just come upon us. So keep an eye out for that, Cancer, if you are not somebody who does follow the moon sign, like the moon phases and things, because I feel like you specifically, you're a water sign, so it makes sense that you would naturally sync with the cycles, and I feel like this could be something for you majorly to do with releasing, moving forward. I feel like a lot of gratitude, a celebration. I kind of get this sense of like family, actually. Um, Perhaps even fertility. Really strange that I got that from that. So keep that in mind if that applies to you. Let's see what else we have for you. So again, what's meant to happen is meant to happen. God is in charge. This is you're on the right path. This is you're divinely guided. Yeah, again, it's divine guidance. And finally, let go of fear now. So you can move forward confidently. All of this guidance in your future place is all about kind of trust, intuition, but it's about releasing. It's about you letting go of fear. It's about, then these are your on the right path cards. Like in each column, you've received a card which indicates that things are going the way they are, and that you have things in place that are going to help you reach towards your dreams and your goals. Like I definitely get this vibe that you are heading towards where you want to be, even if you can't see it. And it's all about changing that perspective to me for you. So that is very interesting. Finally, we have one card. This is usually future card. I feel like to me, for you, this is guidance positioned. I feel like moving forward has just been the future for us. I feel like this one is saying, hey, look, this is going to give you a little tip. We have Four of Swords. I feel like it's reversed. I feel like for you, it's actually time for you to dust up the cobwebs. It's time for you to actively work on letting go. To me, again, this is January. We're making resolutions. I feel like this is major a time for you to clean out your closet type thing. How do we get rid of what we no longer need and let go of what we don't need? And how do we, what do we need to let go of and what do we need to release, kind of, instead of how do we? And then how do we do it? I feel like this is a really good place and mindset for you to be, and this is where you should be at. I will pull a card in a second as well. Sense of humor. Look at things lighter. Stop focusing on the dark. The sense of humor cards comes again. This is, to me, very much these two cards mean the same thing, because it's trusting. It's seen from a place of love instead of from a place of darkness, a place of hate. It's actually, sorry if that made a loud sound, my computer's making noises. It's about seeing that people come from a place of love, and perhaps actions are not as dire as we believe them to be. Sometimes the first instinct we get when someone comes at us is defensive. When we actually take a step back and look at things objectively, we see that actually, no, they reacted this way because of X, Y, Z. And this is what these two cards are meaning for me, for you, is to look at things a bit lighter from another perspective. If you are seeing yourself as a pushover as well, I just kind of felt a sense to add this. It's kind of looking at the love from your perspective, like seeing where you allowing yourself to be what you call a pushover, because I don't believe you're a pushover at all, Cancer, but if you believe that in yourself, is looking at why you're like that. Be compassionate to yourself and see it from a lighter view rather than as a negative, because being compassionate is actually a really, 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 really great like personality traits you have. Like so many people don't have this nowadays. Like it kind of is ridiculous. Especially I mean, look at what we're all going through in the world. It sucks. Like we're all kind of struggling because it's like our whole world's been turned upside down. But that's supposed to happen. And if you are being in a place of compassion after going through all of this, like that's an amazing feat. That is a really great thing to have. Like you've been through so much and yet you're still able to be that compassion that maybe somebody else needs. So again, it's about switching perspective and seeing yourself in a lighter light. I really feel that that's just major for you to acknowledge. And it's a similar vibe with anything. If someone else is being that way, to kind of look at them with compassion, look at them a bit lighter, and apply where you need the same wisdom if you can. I apologise for these marks on my arms. It's been Christmas, obviously, and I've been playing about with my children. We have fake tattoos and things, and they do not want to come off. I've been scrubbing in the shower, and that's why I'm covered in little black marks. Life. Okay, guys. So I'm pulling a past life card. So past life cards to me, they will show what we are holding on to, what we have brought into this life. So it can be a blessing, or it can be something that we need to help kind of work through in this lifetime. It could be what's hindering us in this lifetime because we have not acknowledged it, or we're kind of pushing it below the surface, or we're just not aware of it. So these cards kind of trigger that within us to help the healing begin. Or they can help us to acknowledge what we brought with us that is a pro, and so that we can nurture that and just be thankful for ourselves, I guess, of what we have learned in the many lifetimes we have lived. Interesting. So you got orphan. So this card comes up when you have been an orphan in a past life. So you may have lost a parent, you may have lost two parents, you may have lived a life of hardship. So what that brings in this life can be sometimes a really kind of victim mindset. And this is not learned in this life. So you could live a perfectly normal life that's been great. You've had loving parents, you've had everything you ever needed, and yet you still get yourself in this mindset that's, it's not enough, or you're not good enough, because you have lived a life of hardship. You've lived without that support in other lifetimes. So even though you have it here, you're still bringing forward that trauma. And like past life trauma is so real, it's unreal. Like for myself, I know I've lived a pretty average life, nothing major, but I feel so much heartache and so much pain in me that I never really fully understood what that meant. Obviously finding out you're empathic and things like that is part of it, but it's also like, for me, I feel like I just have a lot of past life drama that I brought with me. That's been a major theme in my journey, in my spiritual journey, has always just kept me in the past. Like I love history, I love religion. I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in religious as a whole, but I love learning of all religions. I believe in aspects of all religions and that kind of thing. Like these, to me, that are just ingrained within me that I've brought forward. So this is, by telling you this, I'm sort of saying like these kind of feeling sorry for ourselves, this kind of feeling like we're not enough, this is coming with you. This is a lot to work through. But the thing is, like, now is the time for that. This card's coming up to say this is what we're going to deal with now. We're going to focus and we're going to change this. We're going to switch this up. Yes, I got to use it on you. That I've been using that, like, in every video it's come up where I've had those moments to do it. And yours is your New Year's resolution. It's changing the way that we think and feel about ourselves, changing the way that we approach our life, and the way that we feel. I definitely feel like a major negative aspect of our life, Cancer, is that it's allowing the self-doubt or the way that you feel about yourself to hinder your progress and needing something to be perfect and you feeling it's not. And this is something to work on for yourself. This is what the focus on divine and perfect health is. It is getting ourselves enlightened within ourselves, and everybody's picture is different, everybody's outcome is different, and we have to work on our own lives ourselves to get to where we need to be. So with that in mind, I'll leave all that with you for food for thought. This was a really great reading, Cancer. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It would help me greatly. Obviously, every little subscribe gives me a big smile. Yes, that was major cheesy. Thank you very much, Cancer. Have a good day and Happy New Year.